All right, yo, what's up, everyone? Hello, hello. I'm Shannon from Polygon. I work there as a currently as a DevRel engineer. So, I'm the guy that's going to be creating videos, doing workshops like this that you're going to see on YouTube or any other platform. And today, what I have for you is a special treat. We got kind of like an NFT presentation from Polygon Studios. What we're going to do today is we're going to kind of go over kind of an intro to NFTs in general, Web3 in general, and how like NFTs function, what that might look like to you as a Web2 developer if you have any experience, you know, things relating to that that might really like kind of pique your interest and really kind of talk about why NFTs are so special. And then we're going to give you some good resources to kind of get active on, get on hands-on with, and kind of if you want to build your own NFT minter or mint NFTs from this from the CLI, then we could do that too. There's quite a lot of things to cover. So we will get started here. So yeah, this is our little table of contents. First, we're going to give you a little introduction to Web3. Then we're going to kind of talk about what exactly Polygon is, like what's Polygon's role in like your little NFT journey. And then we're going to go over like a little workshop to mint your own NFTs and showcase what it's all about. So first things first, I guess a little bit about me. Right now I'm doing DevRel at Polygon. Before and kind of currently I do part-time research in Polychain. Polychain is this like pretty cool and very, very awesome crypto investing firm based in California / SF. And yeah, it's been pretty fun there. I work as a I work quote unquote as a student, the best occupation in the world. So I'm a freshman, a college student, and compared to I think everyone else in the chat, I'm very much of a code novice. To all of you who have a lot more experience than I am. So excited to learn from you all, and I'm going to share some of the knowledge I have today. In the past, I used to work and I do this on the side, but I build with this thing called the Build Guild, which is responsible for all of the scaffold scaffold branches that you see on GitHub, a very popular development tool on the Ethereum / Web3 ecosystem. I used to do ops at ETH Global, which is organizing, kind of global hackathons, and I do tech mentoring as well. So if any of you have any like kind of questions, you can always DM me. I'm gonna leave my like contact in the chat. So yep, leave that in the chat so then any of you can DM me after this to ask me any questions, so I can help you out further. And I used to do lead dev at this cross-chain liquidity solution called BitSwap. And yeah, I used to do some consulting for the UN, Whoop. Some of you have Whoop bands. I see that. So yeah, just used to do a little stuff around that. But kind of an introduction to what is Ethereum and kind of jumping into our main topic. Ethereum is considered like kind of like a computer, right? Right now, like as I'm talking, kind of there's a series of events going on, and your computer is probably processing the video that like is getting transmitted to your screen right now. And most of this kind of video transmission is server to client sided, where like Zoom has its own server that's gonna kind of continue to progress what you're gonna see on the screen as we speak. But Ethereum is totally decentralized, so it means that a lot of different people are around the world are offering up their computer's processing power in contribution to this kind of decentralized network to kind of form together a world computer that's resistant to censorship and has progressing what's called progressing kind of like state changes, where if I were to give you like $2, right, or 2 ETH, right, 2 ETH would be deducted from my account and then sent to your account, and that's a transition of state, right? Like I have 2 less than what I started with, you have 2 more, and that's kind of like just basically how Ethereum runs. And this is interesting because this brings about kind of a whole new era of decentralization, decentralized tech, like DeFi, desocial, it's basically a version of decentralized everything that we use nowadays. You see things like, if y'all watch Twitch.tv, gamers or just general content around there. Right now we have Live Peer. Or if you're into minting NFTs, if you like to do art, if you like to take recordings and make highlight montages of yourself, you could do so with Polygon. And one of the kind of major problems actually with ETH kind of as a world computer is the fact that it runs super slowly. And like all the transactions and kind of necessary state changes for the computer to run, it's all bottlenecked into like one kind of like tight bottleneck, which results in less available throughput for all the transactions that needs to happen in a day, resulting in higher and higher transaction fees, because you take transaction fees when you're transacting on Ethereum, and that's what's kind of where we're at today, and that's what Polygon is here to solve. And we're going to delve a little bit into, first of all, what an NFT is. And then I'm going to kind of also relate NFTs to that issue of like kind of, like why are gas fees so important? So NFTs in general are a piece of art, image, etc., like a token, right? A thing that you can transact between two people that cannot be changed, like ever. Once you've locked in your NFT as it is in that state, it cannot kind of change, in terms of like ownership. It can't be stolen, essentially. It's a provable, unique copy of what it is, unless, of course, it goes through another state change, which will involve a transaction to someone else. For example, if I wanted to give you like, the Nakamoto horse from, Zedrun, or if I wanted to give you like a noun, right, which is an NFT, I would have to transfer ownership to you for a certain price, of course, because NFTs ain't cheap. You would get the NFT, you would be the new owner of the NFT, along with any other piece of data that I wanted to transfer along with that state change. And so that's essentially just NFTs as in a nutshell. And what you can do with these NFTs is you can kind of set up entire marketplaces for them. So, stuff like, OpenSea, which we're going to delve into a little bit later, are interoperable NFT marketplaces. You can you can have NFT listings on multiple chains, such as the Ethereum main chain or on the Polygon, like off-side commit chain. So it's pretty cool. But once again, most of these NFTs are like pretty darn expensive. So, and one of the reasons why actually it's expensive is because it takes so much money to actually start minting an NFT, right? We talked a little bit about kind of how the more complex your function is, or kind of like making transactions on ETH takes money, but the more complex your function is, or more complex whatever your commands are, or the more memory you want to store on chain, it gets more and more expensive as a kind of anti-transaction spamming mechanism, because Ethereum is a big network and it's important. It's got a lot of total value locked. So if someone can like just DOS the network, then that's terrible, for at least for network consensus and security. So what you have is super high minting fees that make essentially NFTs inaccessible to the common man, right? Like I'm poor, man. I don't know about you, but I'm a college student. I'm poor, and a simple meal is already taking like way too much of my allowance. So certainly not a $200 NFT would not be within the budget. And oh yeah, and also just a small mention to the chat there. Do fill out that link for your very own NFT airdrop. Or I don't know exactly what I forget, but yeah, it's a cool airdrop. You should fill it out, get your rewards. But anyways, back to the point. So NFTs are pretty expensive to mint because there are so many things that are stored. So with regards to kind of like the traditional NFTs, you have the ERC 721 standard. It was made by Open Zeppelin, and you can import this into. It's kind of like a library that you can import, right, into whatever you're trying to build, and it has a set of properties. And the reason why we call this a standard is because it's not like, like guaranteed like law that you have to design your NFT like this. But throughout many years of innovation, we finally come upon this as just kind of the general standard and boilerplate code that you have to have to guarantee all of your functionalities as an NFT. So, it stores the address of the NFT, the on-chain address of the NFT. It has the name, has the symbol for it. It has a mapping for the various owners of it. How many does the token owner own? And other things such as like allowance, or approved addresses, stuff like that. That is a little bit more kind of like on the development side. What like when it comes to like what you can do with these NFTs. And a really great way to kind of start hacking with that and really understanding what goes into like an NFT transaction is taking a look at the safe transfer or safe batch transfer from functions, which is a pretty big part of transacting modern NFTs. The part where I was like telling you about the state change and owner change and any data you want to apply to that, etc. And you can obviously also hack around with this on OpenSea or Etherscan. They under like one of the tabs, I think, kind of like middle bottom of the page, they have this thing where you can click on it and it'll show all the like transaction metadata. So you can toy around with that as well. And that's actually it's going to be pretty significant. I can tell you why in a second. But yeah, for now, there's 721 and ERC 1155. You might have heard about these like kind of as separate token standards, but the only difference between them is ERC 1155 is a lot more, in a sense, interoperable because it's essentially a ERC 20, which is a fungible token, ERC 721, a non-fungible token, kind of like all in one. Like inheriting kind of like like what they say is inheriting like the best parts of each kind of each token type. So essentially what you can have is a non-fungible ERC 1155 or a fungible ERC 1155. But also the only difference is it's apparently a lot cheaper to mint 1155 NFTs. So cheaper to mint is always better. And what this is essentially allows us to do is, if you have like rare drops in a game, right? Like if you're playing like an MMORPG, say like, Destiny, right? And you like grind it out like 500 hours for like this one weapon that everyone's looking for, that makes you like just absolutely overpowered, right? And if you wanted to sell that to someone else who is less fortunate and didn't get the drop, and I can see plenty of this happening in like a lot of MMORPG games typically, you would typically go to like an auction house of some sort, that's like, in current Web 2 at least, an in-game auction house that's powered by in-game tokens. And that would be kind of the central like in-game kind of economy that is dictated by whatever the producer of the game is. And most often those games are not like you can buy coins, through a third-party service, but that becomes a little bit more complicated and there's a lot of scams in that area, etc. But now with Web3 gaming and NFTs, you can have a very vibrant like in-game economy powered by actual like, maybe ETH, kind of ERC 20 tokens, with ERC 721 NFTs. So all of that can be like included in the 1155 contracts or standard, and you can have essentially a really vibrant, like real life, virtual, but kind of actually play to win and play to earn in-game economy, where you can actually make a living off of grinding for loot endlessly. So really taking the otaku lifestyle to the next dimension. But yeah, besides for that, there's quite a lot of other really useful applications, such as if you want to like, kind of like fake drugs is also a problem, right? Like fake clinical drugs is also a problem. So you can also like, I don't know, for example, you can probably do like the NFT of like, a prescription, and then like transfer that all around and, have that as a new, system for verifying the validity of a drug or something like that, right? Anyways, just speaking off the top of my head, but you can really see how this is super important, especially with, your smart contract features that, only allows you to do certain things once you're given permission to do it. So, like code that only executes after a certain, condition has been fulfilled, which happens to be also decentralized and not under anyone's control, which means more kind of like censorship resistance, more authenticity, and more general consensus upon the really like the validity of a certain transaction. And so, just kind of some notable NFT examples, if you want to kind of ape into these after the workshop. You have CryptoPunks that are like the original NFTs. Like these were come up with even before the standard was originated or invented. So that's why they're like so high value and so so pricey, because they're a part of history. They're a part of innovation before the standard happened. They're OG, and you have also things like nouns that are kind of the pricing of that is dictated fully by the rarity and the randomness in which you can kind of like get your nouns. The randomness, I'll talk about that a little bit later as kind of how that factors into your building process. And CryptoKitties, are also kind of OG. They're one of the first NFT kind of like marketplace ish, games that you could really adopt way back in like 2018, 2019, I think. And Bored Ape Yacht Club is like, if you're rich, you want like a yacht club pass. You buy it, and then I think they give you like certain perks. I'm sure David would know all about it, and if he wants to like jump into, I guess,
yeah, they're talking about dropping a token too. I think this coming year they're actually working on doing that. There's definitely some different communities where you can participate, where basically like there's a chat site called I think it's like MetaLink or something like that. You can only access it if you're a punk or an ape. And so what it does is it allows you to communicate with other punks and other apes. And then it also allows you to see what people are buying and selling within that group, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, there's definitely some interesting stuff going on.
Yep, exactly. I think one of the greatest value adds, actually, that now that you bring it up, of NFTs is you can really have exclusive governance. Like there's not only the exclusivity and owning the NFT, but a certain organization behind the NFT can kind of like slap on perks to what you get with the NFT. And
all about community. Community is huge with NFTs.
That's a big driving
force.
Yep. So for example, with like the nouns, right? Each noun represents kind of like one vote within the noun ecosystem, or so I understand it. And everything that David said with BAYC and CryptoPunks, that's kind of also another kind of layer towards the kind of exclusivity, and that's typically what we find utility, like at least currently from like just NFT art, where sure something can be really nice art, but it's really the kind of DAO governance kind of features alongside with it that's kind of like really valuable, that it kind of attracts you to kind of ape in and get some extra expensive NFTs, which I cannot get because I'm poor. So if you want to ape more into NFTs, here's a little cool resource for you. Yeah, it's called Nansen. Essentially, it's essentially where you can track a lot of like NFT data, such as kind of like what are the top 5 collections by volume, like how many, what's the total volume in a day, what's most popular right now, what are like uprising stars, etc. And as you can see, BAYC is like number 1 on the list, CryptoPunk second, and a few others that honestly I haven't aped too deep enough to like figure out what they are yet. So yeah, but this is really interesting. You should definitely check this out. And it has other things too, such as like hot contracts for like various protocols that are like gaining a lot of traction. So if you want to check this out, totally do that. But if you want to kind of like check out the NFT marketplaces, if you want to like go buy an NFT, go mint an NFT, stuff like that, you should try to check out OpenSea, Rarible. There's other things too, but today we'll be really focusing on OpenSea because it's like by far the largest in size and the most liquid. Where the most sales are happening and all that stuff. And of course, it natively supports Ethereum and Polygon, so that's always awesome. So where does Polygon come into the equation? When I was saying earlier that NFTs are super expensive to mint, Polygon NFTs are extremely not expensive to mint. We're kind of like the solution towards the kind of like bottlenecking problem that Ethereum has right now. There are certainly like other kind of like solutions, like ones that you might have heard of, like Optimism or Arbitrum, but we as Polygon, we have like an entire kind of suite full of various different scalability tools for your individual project's needs. So not only do we have the normal kind of like proof of stake commit chain, but we also have stuff like the Avail. Recently, we are on board. We acquired Hermes as a ZK rollup suite for you if you want to look at kind of ZK rollup and that kind of utility to your application for a variety of purposes, such as increased privacy, obviously. But we have quite a lot of different solutions for your individual need, and it's not just like a kind of one size fits all, but rather kind of something that where you yourself decide like, hey, what is the best tech stack on Polygon that you could develop with. And if that sounds complicated, like don't worry about it. Like in my personal developer experience, like you build with the exact same tools that you build on Ethereum with, like just like normal layer 1 contracts, like Truffle or Hard Hat if you're a Hard Hat fan like me. You write your deploy script. That might obviously be different from like Truffle than Hard Hat. I have a bit of experience on both, so I think I can like help each one of you out if you need help on it. But essentially what's only needed on top of everything that you're already doing is just a RPC switch over to deploying on the Polygon side of things. So Mumbai or the Polygon / Matic, mainnet. So it's really just as easy as that. Like switching an RPC, and switching an RPC is literally just like copying and pasting down like an RPC link and making sure that if you want to like specify how much gas you want to put on the transaction, you can, but that's kind of essentially it. And we can kind of go over what exactly you need to do like after that. I can even show you an example with one of the branches on Scaffold ETH, just to kickstart your development process. But yeah, Polygon today is really, really vibrant. It's probably it's at this point, like I've known about Polygon much like 2 years before I started working for them. So I'm, for me, it seems like it's kind of like a household name by now. But in case if it's not, we offer 100% compatibility with Ethereum. So we're super interoperable. We're really kind of like, we want to stress the fact that you don't have to go through extra trouble to learn another tech stack to like start building scalable and production ready dApps. We recently had a fee increase, but the fees are like small enough such that it's like less than a cent. And NFT minting is like essentially less than a centage as well. And just for reference, if you want to take a look at Etherscan versus Polygon Scan, the number one contract there is probably some sort of like AMM, like AMM DEX contract, right? Whether that be like Uniswap or SushiSwap, because so much arbitrage activity is like going on there, right? You'll immediately see that while the like Ethereum like Uniswap contract is up to like millions of dollars in terms of fees spent per day, we are averaging approximately $1 with like transaction throughput that is probably like 20 to 50 times more than ETH, which is really, really significant because not only do we have a really high like cap than Ethereum. Oh, by the way, these numbers might be a little bit outdated because like this deck was originally built in like September or something. But essentially, you get the point. you know, there's a lot of transaction throughput on Polygon that you really can't achieve right now on just layer 1 Ethereum, which makes your DAPP UI/UX you know, really smooth, and takes a huge burden off of your users to kind of you know, do various fee related concerns with regards to that. And you know, bridging your funds obviously to Polygon is also really simple. Just use the Polygon Bridge. Or if you have existing NFTs on Ethereum, you can also feel free to use the NFT, you know, bridge on Polygon, which, you know, both of which are available resources on the Polygon website. So we have quite a lot of gaming partners. Quite a lot of dApps are deployed on Polygon, like namely like 400, 500 plus. And we have a lot of infrastructure for if you want to build like decentralized blockchain games, or if you want to just make good art, you know, like if you're an artist, upload your stuff onto OpenSea. But if you're a gamer and you're interested in like the land markets or certain rare NFTs, you know, you got Decentraland, you know, Aavegotchi, which are both pretty notable. Zedrun, what I went over earlier, but quite a lot of you know, a pretty cool infrastructure for you to build off of, which I strongly recommend you to kind of start building on and try out. Cool. So step number 3 is kind of going over some NFTs. So, you know, what we're focusing on is, you know, the gaming and kind of, you know, brand entertainment part of it. And we really support a lot of your journey in terms of if you want to actually start building something on Polygon. We have a really excellent, you know, kind of developer support team. You know, I'm a part of it. I'll be helping you out. So I'm pretty excited to continue to work with all of you. And you know, you have kind of co-development, project investment. We have a lot of folks who be interested in your project if it goes well, if it's novel. We do have an ecosystem fund that's like ready and waiting for you to kind of you know, dream up something big, and we're all there to support you. And you know, it's not like kind of anything daunting. Just let us know your idea, and even if you don't have a full stacked app, you know, ready to go, you know, that's perfectly fine as long as you've started to put effort into building something. That's what we're really looking for. You know, we have a lot of tooling, you know, DeFi, gaming, oh my gosh, everything you could think of, data oracles, whatever you can think of. It's all there. It's all there. And it's quite the vibrant ecosystem here. And if you need like marketing support, or if you need to find some folks to develop with you, we're here for that too. And yeah. And if you want any of the resources that are kind of being mentioned here, or kind of look more deeply into these slides, I think we can ask Lena, or you know, if Lena's okay with it too. I mean, like we can share these slides and kind of, you know, disseminate the information as widely as possible. But anyways, we have quite a lot of this is another slide just to say that, hey, we have a lot of like resources that are there, you know, for all of you. And oh, I was just opening up the chat to provide all of you my contact information once again for the newcomers. But I'll answer the questions more towards the end. And yeah, the all bridge on Solana is a little bit more expensive. And honestly, speaking from like an ecosystem standpoint, like once ETH2 rolls around, or kind of like Ethereum, like I guess just to go on a slight tangent, right? Like Ethereum is a Turing machine in itself, where, you know, essentially you can do a lot of things on Ethereum. And the only kind of thing that's standing in its path on what Ethereum does is like the scaling part of it, right? So, you know, things like Solana that are inherently essentially copies of the EVM that provide, you know, you're developing on a completely separate chain without interoperability, but that chain's only benefit for you is speed. You can literally have that with Polygon while building like fully interoperable with ETH, like dApps, while staying in the like very quickly growing Ethereum ecosystem, be perhaps for ETH2, stuff like that. you know, and not have to learn a completely new set of like more difficult tools. I don't know if like y'all are just like shadowy super coders and y'all like, you know, eat, you know, Rust or C coding for breakfast. But I personally don't know Rust or C very all that well. You know, so I prefer to more stick with the Solidity and the good old React and you know, some of the IPFS stuff. But anyways, we have quite a few people who are like, you know, actually already using NFTs. You know, these are all pretty cool examples. You can all kind of like go over them on your own time. As you can see, like, you know, we had an example with like nouns where the nouns were selling for like 200 like ETH per noun. And I mean, like, this is literally all over Instagram. You can literally just go see this. But one really cool thing that I personally like was you know, 3Lau, the music artist that, you know, kind of makes pretty fire beats, minted their own kind of like NFT album. Like he was the first to do that, like approximately a year ago, and quite a lot of artists are like starting to catch on. So yeah, this is the essentially this is kind of the curve. You're, you know, from like early adoption to like mainstream adoption, and I feel like you're kind of like right when things are starting to pick up, which is you know, quite the time to be in. So I wouldn't hesitate, and you know, honestly, check out whatever you like, but the time to get into this, start building essentially, you know, or even if you want to really like buy some stuff, go ahead, but the time to really start building and start innovating and start like, you know, putting out new protocols for NFTs is now. You know, there's no better time. And yeah, so Polygon NFTs, as we were talking about, was just like, you know, we're the one-stop shop for if you want to like really realize the value of your NFT strategies, you know, because we offer so much scalability, support, ecosystem, like, you know, stuff like that, that is so, you know, we're here to guide you along on our journey. You know, our target market obviously is more so kind of like, you know, kind of the larger scale NFTs, right? Like NFTs that don't require you to like, kind of just, you know, that are not like selling for like 200 ETH, because like, you know, at that point, probably, you know, your NFTs should just be deployed on like the main chain, right? If it's something that valuable. But for the like medium-sized NFTs, or, you know, for general purpose, you should definitely use Polygon for building. I personally don't see any, I guess, like better, you know, better, I guess, tooling for that. And also, thank you, Nick. Sorry, I should have pronounced 3Lau Blau. So much appreciated, much appreciated. My bad. Anywho, so in relation to you know, just, you know, kind of product creation, this is what we're going to go through today, because you can truly integrate a lot of things with NFTs, right? You can integrate kind of like you know, maybe DeFi ecosystems or DeFi tooling protocols with NFTs, right? If you, you know, let's say stake an NFT, you can, you know, once again get like governance rights, tokens, yield farm, maybe. I don't know, but the kind of the imagination is really the limits here. I'm going to skip over a few of these examples because, you know, they're cool, I guess, but you could definitely look them up more on kind of just Google and honestly crypto Twitter, and jump more into the technical parts, which is the workshop. So you know, I want to get everyone's attention, and you know, we can start moving about and actually start doing stuff. So let's go ahead and set up MetaMask, because why not, right? I mean, that's your kind of your passport to the Web3 ecosystem anyways. So yeah, why not? Let's do that. Is actually just to before we go delve into this a little bit deeper, who in the chat does not have MetaMask? It's okay. It is okay. Like, please say so right now. It is all good. Like we assume kind of no previous setup, no knowledge, or, you know, kind of like if you're a Web3 beginner, because that's where I started. And you know, I want you to all know that that's where I was approximately a year and a half ago. And I empathize with your situation. So okay, we got a few people in the chat who don't have MetaMask, so let's go through that process together. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and go to MetaMask. You can go to MetaMask IO, or just go to the Chrome extensions page. So go to MetaMask, go to download, and go to Chrome. Give like maybe like 30 seconds for people to get to there. Get onto this page. Once again, I just searched up MetaMask, went to MetaMask IO, clicked on the first link. Download now, download in the Chrome. And then I just do install MetaMask for Chrome. It'll take you to the Chrome Web Store. I use Opera. You can feel free to use what's it called? Chrome. Or any other browser that you're using that would kind of like fit MetaMask in. You don't have to have MetaMask, obviously. If you're using a hardware wallet and you're secure like that, that's all good. That's awesome. Good for you. But yeah, essentially just download that. And the rest should be really intuitive. They have this like setup thing that allows you to like that gives you instructions essentially on how to set up, including setting up your like private key and all that. Can you merge? Good question in chat here. Can you merge Coinbase wallet with MetaMask? No. These are two different wallets, and the Coinbase wallet is held on a centralized exchange, while your MetaMask is just like a decentralized like web browser wallet for you to use on your own purpose and your own testing, etc. Or your development, or just DeFiing. So you can't merge them, but I think you can transfer funds from your Coinbase wallet to your MetaMask. I think. I haven't actually done that because I don't like. I just keep my Coinbase fund on Coinbase. I just like Coinbase as kind of like an interchain kind of asset portfolio kind of thing. But I think you can certainly try to search up like how do you transfer like Coinbase funds to MetaMask. I hope that was a sufficiently detailed enough answer. But anywho, yes, you can transfer, from Coinable. Okay, sure. Coinbase. Okay. Yeah, nice. Okay, okay, cool. Nice. So once you do this, and once you kind of go through the entire process of recording down your private key, putting in a password and all that jazz, you should arrive upon also I'm just gonna switch over to Robston. You should arrive upon the Ethereum mainnet tab with kind of like this little layout. Can y'all see like my MetaMask layout? I don't know if like Zoom shares the Chrome extension like tab.
You're not broadcasting anything.
Oh shoot. Oh my gosh, thank you. Much appreciated. Oh man. Wait, did y'all catch the part about like me downloading MetaMask? No. Okay, don't worry. Oh my gosh.
We saw that part. We saw the download part, but we didn't see the setting up anything else.
Oh, okay. Cool. Sorry guys. Apologies, my bad. First day on the job. But anyways, you should be seeing this little window. Does anyone see this window on my screen?
Yeah, we see it.
Oh, cool, wonderful. Yeah, so this is kind of like your general MetaMask layout. And once you see this window, you should probably have like 0 ETH in MetaMask. This is essentially, you've done it. This is kind of like your MetaMask, your little MetaMask setup. So from here you can kind of like switch between the various different networks. Actually, while we're at it, why don't we just go ahead and go and add Polygon and Mumbai as networks on your MetaMask as well. So you should start off from Ethereum mainnet. For just like privacy reasons, I'm not going to show my mainnet account. But what we can do here on Polygon is you can switch on over to Polygon, or actually you wouldn't have this initially. You're going to have to go to Polygon, the Polygon docs to go over to configure Polygon on wallets. MetaMask, and then go on over to over here. It says essentially what you need to do is you need to go over to networks, custom RPC, and this is essentially like connect your MetaMask to the Polygon servers. So you can go to Polygon mainnet, you can name it that, and then all you need to do is just copy in the RPC URL. I think, yeah, essentially, yeah, this is your essential, like RPC that you should just connect to. So just like kind of fill, I mean, there's a picture here, so just fill in the name, the RPC URL, all that jazz, right in here, and that should connect you to the Polygon mainnet, along with some, your chain ID, which is 137. I think it's different for it is different for Mumbai, but I happen to forget what was the chain ID for Mumbai. Does anyone know in the chat? If no one knows, then I can obviously just quickly look it up. In one of the examples here, let me just look this up for you so we can get this.
Is Mumbai your test network?
Yeah, Mumbai is the test network.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to look up the RPC for Mumbai. And does anyone have any questions? Sorry, go ahead.
So on the same web page, I think if you scroll up, you can see there's option about Mumbai testnets, and I think the chain ID they offer is 830 and 1. If that's what you're looking for.
Wait, 830.
Yeah, so there you see a Mumbai testnet tab.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even see that. Oh my, okay, that's slightly embarrassing. Anywho,
is it what you're looking for?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I'm looking for.
Amazing.
Yep, thanks so much. Really appreciate that. So as you can see here, thanks to Brian's very, very watchful eye, you can also go connect on Mumbai. Here's your RPC and here's your chain ID. Yeah, you can try to do that. I'm going to try to give y'all maybe like a second to try to set that up. And while you do that, let me go show some other thing real quick too. Let's see here. So this is just like a little example. I have a little example DAPP here that I've built. This is built on Hardhat. And as you can, if you're familiar with this is literally scaffold ETH. But if you are looking to deploy, this is the important part. Everything else, you can feel free to just do whatever, but your module.exports, you go over here and you list Mumbai or Matic as a network. And this is the same process. So similar process to connecting on MetaMask when you're developing an actual DAPP, right? You have your URL, you can set your gas price for whatever, whatever you want to deploy. You also have, your accounts, and your chain ID. You don't have to explicitly state your chain ID here, because I think like, well, you can, but I think like Hardhat does kind of sort out and store the chain IDs in a separate folder, at least on Scaffold ETH. So yeah, you can totally do that. Similar process there. Yes. Oh, great question.
You need to reshare your screen. Your screen came off again.
Yep. Thanks. Much appreciated. I want to bring up this really great question that I saw in the chat though. Oh yeah, and thanks for linking the Matic drip wallet. And so let me go over that first. So on Polygon, you can go to this thing called faucet.polygon.technology. Essentially, it just drops. It gives you some test Polygon or test Polygon tokens to play with on the Mumbai or Gurley network. So that's what David was linking there, which is really, really, really useful. So what's next? Just curious, is there any other Ethereum browser transactions wallet y'all would recommend? You can, like you can feel free to go and install like your Taurus wallet, which syncs up with Facebook. Or you can do like Arcane, but I'm not sure what like Arcane or Taurus like do, just because I've been using MetaMask for so long. Either that or like the actual Ledger hard wallet. So in terms of like, I guess to answer that in a more of a security standpoint, you should probably use Ledger, if you can. Is my Polygon address going to be the same? Yes, it will be. Both your Polygon address and your Ethereum address will be the exact same. So just kind of plop your Ethereum address into that airdrop above. I think Lena shared it earlier. I can't find it anymore. Oh, there it is. Never mind. Oh, never mind. That's not the right one. Sorry, guys. Oh man. Lena, if you wouldn't mind, like just posting the airdrop. Okay, whatever. We'll wait for that to come along, and yeah, that's all good. Telegram ID? I'm not too sure. We'll wait for Lena to come back. If we want to build a DAPP as an NFT, we want to use Matic. Do we need a mint on anything? No, you can mint directly on Polygon, which is kind of what I'm going to show you right now, like imminently after I answer all these questions. I can show you how to do that via both like your very own code editor / like Hardhat, or just via OpenSea, just minting on OpenSea.
Hey, real quick, in regards to that question, how are you guys dealing with that, or what's the best situation to deal with that if you do mint on Ethereum to then also mint so that way you keep the same contract, or because obviously you have different contracts if you're on two different chains, right? Yep. The biggest issue I'm seeing on Polygon is you're seeing people spoof tokens on Polygon with a different, that comes from a different contract address. So there's could be some, kind of some concern in regards to that, in regards to the tokens on there.
Right.
So,
wait, sorry.
Hopefully that was clear enough. I mean, like, so for example, like if you have a token on Ethereum, what's the proper way to, if you move that token into Ethereum and it's newly minted from a new contract on Ethereum, when you bridge it over, will it create a separate contract for that token, or vice versa? How do you create a token that's representative on both chains? Because I've seen tokens where, for example, DAI is a great example. I sent my son some DAI to his Polygon wallet, and he added DAI to his wallet, but it was actually a spoof that somebody created and wasn't the actual DAI token on Polygon. And so I'm kind of curious on how do we solve that problem? What's the proper way of doing that? And maybe that's beyond the scope of this. If it is, I apologize. But one of the issues I see with Polygon right now, that's the kind of inherent issue.
Yep, exactly. Right. And as like a commit chain, you're definitely going to have that issue, which is like pretty unfortunate. But we do have a tool for you to kind of like reduce the possibility of that happening, or just you getting scammed, which is not good, right? And so, which is why the bridge is pretty important, because you essentially what you can do here is, if you have like like a contract, right? You can check, or a contract that's like based on Matic if you have a contract, NFT contract that's based on Matic, you can see if there is a mapping between that contract and the Ethereum contract. I don't exactly have a sample contract to like demonstrate.
No, it's all good. That works. So thanks. I didn't know about that. That's cool. Cool. Then
I'm going to link this in the chat real quick for everyone here. So this is pretty important, and I strongly recommend and for everyone who's going into NFTs and trying to explore things on Polygon, that whenever you're buying tokens anywhere, just on Polygon, just check through this bridge first. And if you have any questions about the bridge, let me know. But otherwise, this is a really good tool to like kind of prevent getting spoofed on Polygon. Yeah, sorry that's been an issue for you, and we obviously
no
would.
problems yet. I'm just very aware of it, so that's why I want to kind of mention that.
Yeah, no problem, man. It's yeah, man, that sucks to have learned that the hard way. But if you want any kind of like help with regards to that, I wouldn't mind like personally helping you out. But yeah, thanks for the question. And here's to hoping that other people wouldn't fall into the same trap. All right, let's see here. Some people had issues with Ledger and Chrome. Yeah, some people do have issues. So check out like different like wallet options if MetaMask doesn't work for you. Is the Polygon POS address MetaMask field on the Google form simply the MetaMask? Oh, yeah, essentially, exactly. Just yeah, exactly. Just fill that in. Telegram ID is your ad if you're not. Yep, exactly. Yep. For your airdrop, Lena has posted that into the chat. So thank you, Lena. Yes, and many things about the username, and yeah, we do. So we do have a Polygon education network for future airdrops among students. We strongly recommend that you do join up in our Discord channel for kind of like any requests now and any requests later, in case if you want to just get some support there for various things, whether that's as unfortunately as getting scammed or actual general kind of like development questions. Be here for that. We've supported multiple languages, so if you're a kind of if you're a member of like some language that is not English, we have pretty active Chinese community, and we have other languages coming along the way. So be sure to kind of be there and activate in that community. So and you can see me on there. I am Peep, the guy with the seal picture. So feel free to DM me on there anytime. And if you have any suggestions about how we should organize our Discord, if you're a truly dedicated Discord mod, be sure to let me know. Or if you're not, don't worry about it. Just let me know what improvements you like to see. Anyways, I think that's all the questions for now. Can I explain Matic? Yes. Matic is essentially an ERC20 token. It's a cheap token that allows you to launch like full stack DApps very quickly on the Polygon network. Essentially, it's your go-go juice, or it's your gamer juice. You need it to function. You need it to deploy. You need it to kind of like interact with different DApps on Polygon. It's your go-go juice. And you can get some Matic via this faucet that I linked, that I'm linking in the chat right now. Or you can get some Matic just buy some off the market, man. It's like literally $1 something. So go ahead and buy some of that because it's pretty darn cheap. Cool. So yeah, there's that, and let's move on to step number 2. That took a bit long, but I just want to make sure that everyone's questions were answered. Yep. So setting up MetaMask. Yeah, we went over all of this. Oh yes, and using or receiving Matic. So if you want to use Matic, or just kind of get some Matic on your hands, start dabbling around here and there with the many things that the Matic ecosystem has to offer for you, be sure to you can feel free to buy some on Coinbase, transfer that over to your MetaMask account, which is a really simple process. We went over that. You can kind of follow this a little bit more later on your own. But you need a very small amount of Matic tokens. Like literally just put 10 cents into it or something. if you like put $10 into it, that's probably enough to last you a whole year or more. It's that cheap, really, to do things on Polygon. So do it now. And I'm not saying that it's like financial advice. You know, like I'm saying that genuinely. Like actually, if you want to use things on Polygon, it's very, very easy. Yes, Matic is to Polygon, as ETH is to Ethereum. Exactly. Yep, that's perfect. All right, so let's create our first ever NFT via OpenSea. So we're gonna go to OpenSea.io. And then we can just go ahead and click on this very elusive like wallet button here. You can feel free to connect yourself on. And once signed in, you can click create. So what we can do here is a little thing called create. I'm sure you can see all this, the little signature request, sign it. It's loading. All right, and now you're here. And this is very, very intuitive, as you can see. So literally just upload your image, audio or 3D model, name, external link, description, collection. Do you want to prop open any of these? That's really all just, really, straightforward. But there are a few things I do want to go over that might not be so straightforward as kind of like a new developer. Sorry, drinking some water. Anyways, the max size for your image, 3D model, etc., is unfortunately 100 megabytes. Now, for because I've worked with some NFT artists in the past, that it's kind of a pretty significant crippler in terms of how you can let your audience and your patrons kind of experience your art. So it's good enough for a GIF or something, but definitely not enough for like a large scale 3D model animation or something like that. And to get around this file limit, what you'll need to do later on is kind of like just deploy your NFT onto something like IPFS. So this is where having something like, sorry, let me just share my actual whole screen. This is where having something like IPFS desktop, or even if you have like R Drive, right, from Arweave, that helps a whole ton. You can upload your files, or check out, upload your files, import. I've quite the I haven't uploaded anything yet, but feel free to do that. You can also just do that via like kind of your your actual like code repo thing, via I think it so in scaffold ETH, I think this kind of related information is on mint.js, where you can after you've kind of deployed it on IPFS, you can kind of like mint your NFTs to a specific address. So as you can see here, this is like a link that is already in existence. So you just slap this link on as kind of like the image portion of your thing. You can also have very unique features. So as you can see here, not only do you actually have a name, but you also have an external URL. You can have like actual attributes with this. This is how you kind of see actual NFT projects out there manage their rarity levels and all that stuff for an NFT, because some of these NFTs have essentially randomized like character traits that make it a lot more rarer than others. How they do this is using this thing called the Chainlink VRF, and which is essentially it's short for verifiable random function. Essentially, one of the constraints that used to be a thing on Ethereum was you can't like do an RNG thing that was provably random, right? And this had to be done, this kind of tooling had to be done via a smart contract that was designed specifically for making sure that your RNG is like provable, and just to make sure, you can find this right here. You can find scaffold ETH just on scaffold ETH. And in case if you weren't sure which branch it was, it is right here. So you can literally just mint your own Matic NFTs to yourself using this quick little kind of NFT front end. And I wrote this myself, so you can feel free to just kind of like follow the step-by-step instructions. I've like tested for every singular step prior to hosting this. So every single step, if you just do exactly what it says, it should land you on where you should be. If you have any questions, however, obviously this can go terribly wrong, and maybe I'm just like bad at writing instructions. You can consult with me and let me know, because I'm always here for any any of y'all's need. So yeah, anyways, there's that. But you can, so that's one way to get around that problem. Arweave also provides you with permanent storage. So instead of like, having like temporary storage, you can have literally permanent storage. So not only is your like the proof of you owning the NFT is that permanent, but also your Arweave link is also permanent. Either that, or you can go check out something like some alternative solutions, such as Casespec. So essentially, here's another thing. Actually, they actually have a pretty good. They actually have the docs started. This is pretty interesting. So I used to be I used to hit up the founder of this company called Canon. And they used to do kind of a process for minting these continuously, like forever upgradable, infinitely sized NFTs that involves kind of essentially hashing all of your NFT metadata, sticking all of that through into the and actually let me just show you right here. Let me show you right here. I have a slide on this. Hold on. Right here. So on a safe transfer from transaction, right, it takes in some parameters, namely the addresses, who is it from, address, who is it to, the UN256 of the token ID being like, what is the ID of the NFT that you want to transfer? And every single NFT has a token ID. And it also takes in this thing called bytes data. So it essentially takes in a bytes format of everything that you wanted to encrypt or like hash into like a data file, right? Kind of the data of like, what additional things am I transferring, in addition to just my normal NFT. So if you're an artist and you're actually looking for like a long-term like NFT solution, you can hit up Canon. And just to kind of, I guess, show you guys how it's like on the back end, like just really briefly, because I used to work on this a little bit. You have the actual case spec, you have the header. The header is essentially what's important here, because to skim this on a high level, and if you're curious about this, let me know. I can give you more details. But you essentially take everything in this like little body paragraph, right, that contains like, who's the artist, what is the NFT, what's the token ID, who is attested to the fact that this NFT is like legit and has like all of its legal rights according to it, kind of like legislation and distribution rights, who was the author originally, what are the files that are uploaded on IPFS or Arweave that you want to kind of transfer or update the NFT with. And this really just kind of decouples the permanent ownership proof of the NFT part, and the this is an image and this is a 100 megabyte image as a limit kind of part. So yeah, because I used to just do a little bit of, well, not extensive, but a bit of good work on this. I wanted to show you this as a kind of alternative option to, if you want to store your NFTs in a literally built different kind of way. But back onto the point of my presentation, you can, oh, wait, hold on. Where did my OpenSea tab go? I think I exited out of it. My bad. Sorry, everyone. Let me just tab back onto the OpenSea. There we go. So here you can essentially create your NFT. It's really simple. Your name, your external link. Like, you know, if you have like a little details page on your art that you want other people to learn more about it, go ahead, you know, attach that on as well. Your description for your NFT, you know, very much of like kind of like a you know, it's a good hook where you can kind of like attach your link to your website if you have one, or detail a little bit about your project. This is also kind of like the collection in which your item will appear, and other things like properties levels. You know, these things aren't particularly necessary. And honestly, in my minting journey or buying journey, I've never had to use this, so don't worry about that. Unlockable content. So if you know, like have anything that's like special that you want to include with NFT, that's good. And if this is like stuff that you're like, you know, if this is like OnlyFans level stuff that you're like, that's more explicit, let's say that, you know, then you should you know, tick on that little box. And you also can like really detail kind of like how many you want. And so the rest of this, you know, kind of like you could put all the description, the image, and all that stuff. All of this essentially gets compiled into what is called the NFT metadata. All of your content here essentially gets locked like permanently on chain until a state change happens where something about your NFT changes. And yeah, that's essentially how the metadata code works.
Isn't Google isn't OpenSea using like Google servers for their images though?
I think so.
Yeah, that's my big concern, is that versus being on like IPFS or Arweave or something.
Exactly. And obviously I think like, see, like that's what low key, I don't ever deploy on OpenSea. Like this is not what we do. We want to show you this because it's an easy way to like deploy an NFT, like just anywhere. But like me personally, I don't deploy NFTs on OpenSea. If I want to do it, I can literally just do it via like my very own like scaffold ETH tutorial thing. You know, like scaffold.
Is there an equivalent to Rarible yet on Polygon?
I'm pretty sure is Rarible on Polygon. Like I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so. I didn't think so. Last I checked.
Got it. Okay.
So I'm trying to find something. I'm trying to find an NFT minter where you can mint and then also do the you know, the royalty like Rarible does, which is kind of cool. But I haven't seen that yet. But
if you find one, be sure to let me know.
I know, right? There's stuff popping up all new all the time. It's just, you know, it's like I always figure that somebody's found one. If not, how come there's nobody made it yet? You know?
Yes, exactly. So yeah, as I was like saying earlier, oh sorry, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting my point. Sorry. Anyways, I think I was gonna say, yeah, David will let you know if there are any kind of like truly decentralized like NFT minters. But for now, you can always use the NFT bridge to kind of bridge over any kind of main chain based NFTs, or actually go ahead and kind of go build and go learn how to write the deploy script, go learn how to write the mint script, and then literally just go ahead and mint stuff, you know, via hard hat. I think that's a much better method, personally speaking, just because like not only does it teach you how to build dApps in general, but also it's good for if you want to become like, you know, just like a good old blockchain guy, you know, like me. I'm still very much of a novice here, and there are some things I don't know too much about. But there are, especially something like scaffold ETH, scaffoldings that kind of write the boilerplate code that you're not too familiar with, and you can focus on mastering one thing at a time. So yeah, can you bridge Plasma NFTs you create back onto the Ethereum mainnet? Yes, I think so. Yes, you can. Right here. You can literally just click this button and then Matic to ETH. There you go. It's as easy as that. And follow the instructions, of course. I haven't bridged NFTs yet. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, typically you don't. I don't think you really need to bridge NFTs, right? Like if you have your NFT on the Ethereum main chain that's already minted, you already bought it off OpenSea already. There's probably not much of a necessity for you to like mint things over or like bridge things over. But yeah, I think the Matic to ETH might be more useful for you. Okay. Anywho, now that we've gone over all of that, yeah, mint your first NFT. Go to create, upload your media assets. To lock in the NFT, freeze metadata. That's everything that you need to know that I just went over. And if I went over that a little bit too fast, because I think I may have, but I don't really know, like if I have. You know, you can either feel free to ask a question right now in the chat, or you know, check out. Oh wait, hold on, that's on edit, and that's on Polygon. Hold on. You can feel free to check out this little link right here. You know, that is a viewable copy of our presentation today. Besides for that, you know, obviously NFTs can go beyond, you know, the use of just generally, you know, like NFTs, right? Just general art or general DeFi, right? So for example, one of the most common things you're probably going to see on everyone's Twitter profile, or, you know, just in general, is their ENS name. ENS is in itself an NFT that is like kind of mapped to your account, right? So you know, NFTs can actually serve that kind of like utility purpose as well. Very utilitarian. And you can even use your NFT or your ENS address. You can like transfer that to other people, or transfer it to yourself to do like a signature on you know, like a paid for signature on something. Yeah, so that's one more way to kind of verify various transactions or verify just various things that you want to on Polygon or Ethereum mainnet. So when you know, after we've minted our NFTs and kind of gone through that whole process of how do you mint an NFT, we've gone through, you know, we gave you a few resources on, you know, how do you mint NFTs, OpenSea, Scaffold ETH, you know, IPFS/Arweave. We talked all about what is in the future of NFTs, what is our future for NFTs, what is the kind of like the key to why NFTs are useful, you know, what do people value out of NFTs, you know, and honestly, just the general future in which like NFT, what is NFT applicable for? We talked about all of this in the form of like, you know, DAO governance as kind of like the main form of, you know, incentive utility, play to earn / you know, game loot drops, in-game ecosystems and economy, you know, like even stuff like this, right? Like Lena and I were like discussing whether if you know, we should give you like, you know, POAPs or something like that for your attendance here today. You know, that's something, you know, that was something that that's something that's literally applicable to us right now. You know, community and membership, stuff like that. You know, you can, you know, like decentralized marketplaces, you know, like where you can earn fees or, you know, collect fees off of every single transaction that happens on your marketplace to create a legitimate business. you know, all this stuff. This is all really new and exciting, and a lot of possibilities that are only limited by your own imagination. And you know, sure, there's a lot of kind of like mainstream things right now, but honestly, with how composable NFT standards are, the scalability that you get on Polygon, and you know, the fact that everything on Polygon inherits Ethereum level security, like truly, man, like the horizons are really just, the horizons are your limits. Like the imagination is your horizon. And you know, I'm more than certain that you can create something that integrates, like, I don't know, DeFi and NFTs, or you know, decentralized social and NFTs, or um, anything that has to do with NFTs, or anything else that, for that matter, on Polygon that is completely new and really different from what we've all seen so far. And when you get there, and when you get sponsored, or you know, get like a VC check from, I don't know, like from Polychain or something like that, don't forget me. And I thank you with all of that. You know, with all your time today and all of your attention today. Thanks for coming. I'm here to take any questions.
If you have questions, feel free to pop off, mute and ask them.
I'll ask a question real quick. So if we see ETH 2.0 take over or come about eventually, what do you think will happen with Polygon?
So I think that, like, the scalability suite is generally, it might be a problem. I think the general scalability problem will be a lot better, but it is not guaranteed, especially because of like ETH deflationary measures and you know, the continued problem of MEV, right? That you might see still like uses for things like ZK rollups, right? Where people might be able to build like dark pools to kind of, you know, like have more transaction privacy and get sandwiched less. Or you might have, you know, you still might need that layer of, you know, general scalability found in, you know, everything that Polygon kind of offers right now. You know, especially once again, right? Like ETH prices are going to continue climbing because, you know, there is kind of a like a burning mechanism now. Minting will get, or you know, ETH minting will become a lot less, you know, after the merge. And if you see, I think this is the website. Oh man, ultrasound.money. Here it is. And if you were wondering kind of where I'm like sourcing these thoughts, you know, these data, you can see here. I have actually a whole website for you to kind of check what the ETH issuance is going to be in the future, to illustrate the kind of rapid climb in kind of ETH prices potentially in the future. You know, your ETH prices are going to continue climbing. I'm not exactly sure what the magnitude to which, you know, kind of like scaling is going to be, you know, in the future. But for all we know right now, developers shouldn't be hesitating to wait until whenever ETH2 comes out to start building. We don't want that to happen, right? Like, you know, new innovations can happen in a matter of a month or 2 months.
Is it possible that Polygon basically just becomes another shard of the ETH2 network?
I think it'll be a little bit more than that.
Okay.
I think Polygon will, after all, it is a scaling aggregator, right? So anything that has to do with scaling, I'm sure will eventually, like, you know, find, like, kind of produce a tool for any and all sorts of purposes, right? Even if it's like something that's related to, like, you know, increasing miner returns on various shards, right? Like something like, you know, flashbots, like, you know, Geth related. Maybe we will have that in the future, but one thing's for certain is the fact that with our scaling aggregator approach, we really do kind of like offer a whole lot of different things for you to use in your toolbox. That's my thoughts, at least.
Sounds good. Thanks.
I just wanted to ask about decentralized games. Like, what do you think is novel about them? Because you know, if I buy an NFT in a game, How is that sort of different from a centralized game selling unique items? Kind of what is the unique value of NFTs in that case?
Yeah, sure thing. Let's do this as an example. What do you play? I can take any game that you play right now and probably take a twist on it. So
I've been playing Madden recently.
okay, Madden. There's quite a few interesting things actually with like, so number one, people are already building like fantasy, like NFT sports cards. I forget the exact name of the project, but they're building like entire cards, like in collections, essentially full of like, like that are powered by NFTs, and they're
You're
like
talking about NBA Top Shots?
No. It's something
Different one?
that's
Okay.
something much newer and
Okay.
different than NBA Top Shots. Something that I came across when I was when I was like doing research for Polychain, like probably like last week or 2 weeks ago. But yeah, they're building something that's like essentially you have like an NFT like trading cards marketplace. So now if you have like, let's say like, or I don't really know like Madden too well, but for something like FIFA, right? Like you can literally sell like your like level 99 Ronaldo, or like 99 rating like Ronaldo on the market for like pretty good money. If you want to bring up any other games, I could probably like describe that better, just because I have like less experience with Madden.
Yeah, like whichever game that you play, I just kind of want to get a general idea for.
Oh sure, man. I used to be a pretty big like WoW, World of Warcraft player. Yeah, those are the days when I used to have free time, which was a long time ago. But yeah, essentially, as I was kind of mentioning earlier, when people like kind of got like really rare drops, instead of kind of claiming it for themselves, they would go ahead and sell that rare drop on the market for a very hefty sum of money. And there were obviously kind of like third-party like gold buying services where you can buy more of the in-game currency through like a third-party service for like $20 to $30 per like 60K gold. Probably a lot more than that, but anyways, with an actual like kind of decentralization of this in-game market, not only can the game producers themselves kind of take a tax off of like every single like player to player transaction on this market, but also the players get to determine their own price, right? The players get to market make. The players get to design more tools and kind of like more tooling around like maybe auction infrastructure, or honestly the sky's the limit there, and they can obviously sell their unique loot as an NFT for a very hefty sum of money. And now instead of being an actual, like in-game currency, it might be even through ETH, or maybe you can swap the in-game currency for ETH. Case in point with Axie Infinity, you can buy, like if you bought a piece of land like 3 years ago, you can sell that piece of land for like 200 ETH right now. Yeah, so rare is a really good example. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Okay, sounds good. Any other questions? Or did I answer your question successfully?
Yeah, you did. I have another question, but if anybody else wants to go, I can wait.
Let's take one more question, coming right up on time.
All right, so I guess I'll go then. So I guess I'm taking like an algorithms class right now, and sort of the way I'm thinking about decentralized peer-to-peer networks is that lookup times, like if you wanted to access something, would be slower probably than if you had like a centralized server where everything is stored in one place, right? So like, does that sort of hinder experience in any way, or do you see that being a roadblock for the future?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Probably not, and here's why. I will definitely concede to the point that like decentralized systems are inherently, at this rate or at this point, slower and probably a lot more expensive than like kind of centralized systems, right? case in point with Ethereum versus like just normal credit card transactions. However, I do have hope, and I have very concrete like hope that things are going to get a lot faster. Case in point with you know, things like data oracles, right? Like, I mean, when you're doing, you know, like you're doing like an algo class, right? So, you know, when you need to prevent slippage, for example, on Uniswap, or any other like DEX, AMM, or even like centralized exchange, in order to get the most accurate price data, you need the best and fastest like data oracles, right? And most oftentimes, currently, as it is, Chainlink data oracle refreshes approximately like 15 minutes to 20 minutes, you know, at like every 15 minutes to 20 minutes. That's like kind of the interval. But if you were to use something that's like a data oracle, for example, that's built on a faster infrastructure, right? For example, right now you have Pith on Solana, you know, that has a faster refresh rate, like 1 second or less, because it's built on like faster infrastructure. Then, you know, you have less slippage, you have more accurate price data, everything's a lot better, right? So like take that example and then try to apply that, I guess, to like other various things that you want to see improvements in, right? And that's why I see a lot of future potential and hope for things going faster and, you know, user experience to be better, you know, as it is with Polygon to ETH, right? Stepping into that next dimension.
Cool. We are 1 minute over, so thank you so much, Angan, for all this knowledge that you dropped on us. I'm going to send Lena the recording. I'm also going to share the recording with our campus and all our ecosystem soon. But I think I got a lot out of this event, and I'm pretty sure based on the feedback in the comment section that most people did as well. So thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks everyone for coming and being super attentive. Thanks so much.
Awesome, cool. Many more events this week, but we'll give you guys the rest of your day. Thanks.
Bye, everyone.